This is why people sometimes can't be happy for you, because they can't. And if you're doing actually, you know, when things change, there is often a period where you don't quite fit in with these people, but you haven't yet met the tribe.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 5 different things that people could do in the next week or start looking at that could help to build their resilience. So we're not saying do all 5. If you do all 5, great. And this is why people sometimes can't be happy for you, because they can't. If you're doing something that is, you know, if you're doing something different, or if you're achieving something, they're going to think in their subconscious, maybe not even in their conscious mind, that's not possible for me. How can it be possible for you? And so often when people are not being supportive, they think they are. They think they're doing you a favor. I'm just being practical and pragmatic.
I know
it's not always malicious.
They're afraid to try because they're afraid to take risks, because all we've ever known is if you take risks, you're going to fail. So they're trying to protect you from failing. But in turn, they're not encouraging you to win, because they're too afraid to own their own shit or do their own healing or try and take that risk. They think they're protecting you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, all what they should be doing is, you know, getting out of your way.
Leaving the cave, come back. It's not safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this caveman mentality. Don't leave, we're going to get killed by a saber-toothed tiger. No, let's all reach for the stars together. And like, if the person doesn't reach for the stars with you or doesn't reach for their own stars, you're going to have to leave them behind, unfortunately. And you know, that's it. Don't tell people your plans, show them your results.
Yeah.
Because this is it. People can drag you back down into that 3D reality. People can drag you back down into that low vibration energy. So, and oftentimes on this journey, stop telling these people your plans. Stop sharing your plans with the wrong people, because they're only going to give you bad advice. Do the thing, show them the results, show them proof, and then they can come with you then, because they're going to actually see that this is possible, and they actually might follow you then.
Some of us has to stay in the cave. Well, that's fine. Stay in the cave, but let those wanderers wander off.
Exactly, and like that's the thing. That they're not they're not going to believe in the magic, and they're going to try and pull you back. But if they see the result, it might give them that push to come forward themselves. But that's why it's so important to kind of release yourself from the energy, even if it's only temporary. You can always go back. You can always reconcile. But you can't move forward. Like, it's the whole rope thing I keep going on about. You throw down the rope to the right person, that person is going to pull themselves up as you pull them up. But you throw that rope down to the wrong person, they're going to dangle there and go, here, and your hands are going to bleed, and then they're going to pull you back down. This is it. So let go of the fucking rope. They can get their own fucking rope. You can throw the ladder down when they're ready to climb it. But right now, you have to climb further so that you can actually show these people the proof. Show them the results. And they might come with you, but you have to be so mindful of that energy that's coming from these kinds of people. Are you surrounding yourself with the right people? That thing you mentioned, the clip of the one on Diary of the CEO, it's the 5 people you spend your most time with.
Yeah.
So if you're in that low vibration of reality and everyone around you is talking negatively, you're going to be that 5th person. Whereas the other people in your reality moving forward have to be successful ones. So surround yourselves with people who are reaching for the stars as well.
With the people who have the behaviours and have the habits and have the demeanour and have the energy that you want to have.
Yes.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean you have to stop being friends with people, but it does mean you have to be mindful about how much time you spend with them. Exactly. If they're not the right people. So what those that woman did, she reached out to me because I'm already in that place, to be surrounded by people who are on the same journey as her, because we're supportive of her journey. The people where she is that are not going on her journey aren't, and that doesn't mean she needs to fall out with them, but it does mean that she needs to make sure she's balancing herself.
And don't tell them your plans, because they're only going to fancy that. No matter how evolved you're getting, if you say something to the wrong person and they fancy it out, it is going to make you question even that simple thing of, do I belong here? So be mindful of who you share your stories with while you're on this journey as well.
Yeah. So, what else? So, what can we take from that? I think for your environment, you need to think about who, if you haven't got somebody in your circle that is doing what you want to do, you need to try and reach out and find somebody who is, or get some mentors. So it doesn't have to be a friend. You know, you could just surround yourself with all the positive messages from somebody on YouTube that's doing the thing that you're doing, or speaks motivationally that helps you. So
Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi were the first two for me, and even Matthew McConaughey, like doing a live event. Watching these kind of live events helped me to kind of start to see a spark. And then I started to, you know, do more courses with people in this journey. You know what I mean? And it's so much better to be in a community where we're all walking each other home, we're all heading in the right direction, instead of trying, you know, the people trying to pull you back.
Yeah, yeah. So when I started coaching, so I'm in the Ed JC Smith community, and that's amazing because everybody is just on the same journey and really supportive of each other. And you know, in fact, that we met each other through that, didn't we? And I've met a lot of my, and so my inner circle now is largely people from that community who I've got strong connections with, and I meet them online on Zoom, or we keep in contact a lot, and we build each other up and we egg each other on, and we collaborate as well, which is what we're doing now. And then I also have my sister who's on my karate journey, you see, and the people at the dojo who are on the karate journey with me. So it's I still have my old friends, and actually I'm going on Monday to go and have lunch with them, which is lovely. And I still love my friends, you know, but who do I spend the most time with? Who do I get the direction from? I go get my direction and my encouragement from my inner circle, which are people on my journey, people who have the same aspirations as me, because that makes it much easier to be resilient. And if I'm not feeling resilient one day, I can reach out to one of you guys and you say the things that I should be saying to myself. And we do that for each other. So that's why community is really important. So another way you can get a community around you is to join a Facebook group, or a school community where they are, you know, people, maybe it's you want to be a content creator, or maybe you want to be an artist, or whatever it is. There will be communities out there that you can join. So it's joining like-minded people, because they will egg you on and they will give you genuine advice and, you know, experience. That's also a great thing. I mean, when I first started doing lives, you'd already had a lot of experience online, in the online space. So you had lots of help and encouragement and experience to bring to that, to support me when I was just starting out. So community is so important for resilience. I think sometimes we think our resilience is our own, but resilience isn't just you, it's who you surround yourself with.
That's it. We're stronger together, and I mentioned that in a video there lately. Like, you know what I mean? We're gaining strength solo when we go into isolation on this healing journey, but we get so much stronger together, because being in a community, it opens your heart more, and when your heart is open, you're so much stronger. And we can share messages on our own, which is brilliant, but the message we can put out as a group is so much bigger. So what we can do as a group, as a community, we can reach further. We can have a bigger and better impact on this world. And that's it. We are so much stronger together. We really are. And like, you know, as I said to you already before in videos, is, you know, when I was so close-hearted, you know, isolation was there for a reason. But when I kind of got so fearful to let anyone into my life again, that made me weaker. We think we're protecting ourselves by putting protection around our heart or keeping people out. We're afraid, you know, we won't get hurt again. But it's only since opening up to you and being more open with my other friends is that I'm actually getting stronger. My life is flowing more better, because I'm actually more resilient now that now that I know I'm not alone. And that is so important. It really is.
And actually, you know, when things change, there is often a period where you don't quite fit in with these people, but you haven't yet met the tribe,
Yeah,
you know,
and that's
and
scary because
that's
if
something I
you're
learned.
afraid to walk away, yeah, you're afraid to walk away from the people in your past because you're afraid to be alone. You're afraid that you're not going to find your soul tribe. And there is a period in the middle where you are on your own and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone forever kind of energy. But then, you know, the minute you start to open your heart again, you see how many people are actually there for you and that are actually on your side. The ones that you're vibrating into, the ones that match your energy now. And it's so enlightening to have that support network again. It really
Yeah,
is. And, you know, I feel so much more powerful now because I have support again. Because I'm letting myself, you know, be open to the world again.
yeah, yeah. So uh, as you are transforming, and maybe there is a period where you feel a little isolated, be intentional about where you look. Yeah, so you can, like we say, find a community. It might not be that everyone in your community, in that community, is your cup of tea, but there will be people in there, and you'll see them. You'll see the people that are helping you, or the people that speak positively about the thing that you're also wanting to do, and follow them. Listen to them. Find some inspirational speakers in the area that you're interested in, and people who are on the same journey as you will also be watching those people, will also be commenting, and so that can open up. You can meet people that way, and you have to just trust that people present themselves, don't they? You build connections. So intentionally look for a community that will support your goals. Is definitely one. So I thought, because we're running out of time, we've been chatting for a whole hour now, we could maybe give maybe 5 different things that people could do in the next week or start looking at that could help to build their resilience. So we're not saying do all 5. If you do all 5, great. But I haven't actually got them off the top of my head, so we're going to have to make them up as we go along.
Okay.
But we'll be able to come up with some. I know we will. So let's try and think of 5 steps that people can take. So the first step, I would say, is look at your language. So look at your language around yourself. So that could either be thinking about a recent challenge and what thought you had around there that made it difficult. Like, what was the negative thought? What was the doubt that came in? And having a look at debunking that. Two,
Yeah, exactly. Like a good way of doing that is ask yourself, is this true or is this based on a fear from a past experience? That's a really good question to ask because oftentimes our fear comes in based on a past experience that's not even a reality anymore. And we're fitting that into this new reality because of what we've been through before. So ask yourself, is this true for this moment or is this based on a past fear?
yeah. Number 2 is to go about your day or week and just notice how either your energy feels after being with the people that you spend the most time with. Not everyone, but think about, who am I spending the most time with, and just notice, do I feel energized or do I feel drained? Now, somebody can be having a bad day and might be having a vent. So I'm not saying build your opinion on one event. That's why maybe go through the week,
Yeah.
and just think, right, these are the 5 people that I spend the most time with. I'm just going to notice afterwards how I feel. Do I feel energized? Do I feel motivated? Or do I feel demotivated? Do I feel drained? And just make a note of that. And then if those people are draining you, maybe spend a little bit less time with them. And
Exactly.
if the people are lifting you up, try and spend a bit more time with them. And that will make
Exactly.
a big difference.
Yeah.
Another
Another one then, just kind of as number 3, could be
number 3.
similar to the people. What are you consuming? So social media, television. If it's draining your energy again, don't watch it. I'm sorry. Like I used to read the newspaper every single day, and then I had one of the worst traumas of my life, and I wouldn't even have to open the fucking page of the newspaper, and I'd be reminded of my trauma.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped watching the news as well.
I
It's
don't really
because
watch
if you're
telly.
trying to heal from something, why are you constantly pushing it into your body? You know what I mean? It's like putting an illness into your body. So if you're watching like social media or news that's actually affecting you, just cut it out
Yeah,
for a while
also
and see how
like,
you feel.
I mean, I used to love watching murder documentaries.
Yeah, me too. I used to watch murder, true crime. I used to love it. I used to love watching horror films as well. But if it's making me feel uneasy, or if it's draining my energy, or if it's making me too upset, or even, the simple thing of watching, oh my God, I'm even thinking about it. Vet shows where the puppies, oh my God, I can't even think about it. I can't watch like doggy shows anymore where there's dogs injured
Oh,
or homeless dogs or anything like that. Watching things like that just breaks my heart. And I have to stop watching. And, just these kind of things.
yeah.
Even if it's really affecting you,
I think you
you have to
need
stop
to
watching.
like, it's if being up to date on certain news information is going to lead you into action to make a difference, then it is a moral thing to do. If it's just you're watching it and you're feeling bad or sad or anxious, you're not helping anybody. You're just making yourself feel bad,
Mm,
And
mm,
so, unless you are an activist and somebody who is actually going to go out and march on the streets or actually go and make real change, and we do need people like that, so we do need people clued up on everything that's going on. And yeah, maybe if you're going to vote, you need to spend some time doing a bit of research then, but constantly watching stuff that makes you feel bad but doesn't call you to action to make that change is a waste of
exactly.
your
It's
inner
depleting your
peace.
energy, and it's making
Yeah.
you yours. If you want to make a change in this world, you have to do it by building yourself up. And if this stuff is lowering your energy, you're never going to thrive enough to make a change. So remove that out of your life, thrive, and then go back and watch it and do
And
something about it. But you
another
can't do
thing
something about it.
another thing to remember as well is that the algorithm on your phone when you're scrolling will show you what keeps you interested for the longest. So just maybe it might even be interesting to just notice what keeps cropping up, because if it's always bad news things, or if it's something terrible happening in a certain place, or if it's very angry and political, then and you're not really a political person in that you're not actively doing anything to change those things, be aware that you're filling your head full of all that stress, but for no reason. Essentially, it's not helping anyone. And there are people that are activists and going out and trying to change the world, but if that's not you, if you're not going to do something about it, then don't be watching it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So that was number 3. Check what you're consuming, and consuming is not just what you're eating; it's what you're watching. Number 4. What could number 4 be?
Go easy on yourself. You know that we mentioned this a little bit. Go easy on yourself if you make a mistake. Oftentimes, if we make a mistake, or even if we drop something, we call ourselves stupid and we reprimand ourselves. Speak to yourself like you would speak to another human being. With compassion.
Yes.
That's a really good one.
So
Speak
building
with this.
self-love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, that's a great one for today
I
because
know.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Yeah. So building self-love. So making sure, checking your language around yourself, that you are being compassionate as you would be to a child or to someone you love when you make mistakes. Because if
Yeah,
you're compassionate and kind to yourself when you make a mistake, then you're more likely. It's like making it a safe space. I always say to my kids at school, I've got a poster on the wall that says, mistakes are how we learn. And whenever someone makes a mistake, I always remind them, oh, well done, because mistakes are how we learn, so we're learning from this.
exactly.
And so children, it's a very safe space in my room to get a question wrong. It's okay to get
Yeah,
something wrong, because now we know what little bit we need to learn next. So
yeah,
if you can talk to yourself like that, make yourself a safe space to make mistakes,
yeah.
because
They're mistakes. MUSTAKE. We must
yeah,
make them in order to know what to do right next time.
exactly.
They're all a part of the learning process. It's really good.
And I did have one, but it's just dropped out of my head.
Another
Number
thing,
5.
another thing about environment. Your home. Is your home cluttered? Do you feel a calmness when you're at home? If your environment at home is making you feel uneasy, or you're feeling agitated in your surroundings, like if the decor or something, or if you have like old decor from reminded you of a bad relationship, stuff like that, brighten up your home. Like if there's pictures on your wall that are dark or anything like that, try and replace them with kind of lighter energy. So have a nice lighter energy in your home environment as well is a really good one. Because before I used to have clutter everywhere. I remember my table would be paper everywhere. And a friend of mine was like, a lot of mess there. And I was like, oh yeah, I was about to say it's organized chaos. And I was like, no, actually, I have no idea what's there. And I ended up clearing out a lot of like DVDs and books and stuff. And my space now is less claustrophobic. And so don't get me wrong, my spare room. It's like I shoved everything into the carpet. Don't go into the spare room, that's the one room I don't want to look at.
In
but my other spaces are good.
Monica's cupboard. House is immaculate, but don't go in that cupboard.
Yeah, don't go in there. Like the whole house is lovely, but don't go into the spare room. I think that's something I would. Once the spring comes in and it gets a bit, brighter, I'm going to start to clear out that room. But Jesus, yeah. So yeah, clear out the space, the room you're in most, or even your bedroom. Your bedroom is a safe haven. So like it's if your bedroom is cluttered, it can actually disrupt your sleep. And I noticed that myself. So my room, I have crystals everywhere. I have lovely, I have murals on the wall and stuff that I've drawn, and I have quotes everywhere and stuff like that. So my bedroom is my sanctuary. Like I love it. And that's so helpful to get a rest and sleep. So make sure your surrounding, you're at home is a sense of calm or a sense of peace is a good one.
Yeah, that's definitely something I have to work on. I have to say. But also,
as I said, don't put the spare room.
If you spend a lot of time at work, try and brighten up the space where you're at work, like with a picture or a plant or something to make it more calming, because some people spend a lot of time at desks at work or whatever, so if you're able, some jobs aren't like that. They might be outside or in a production line or whatever, lots in a shop, but if you're able to brighten up a little area, I have a little sanctuary at work somewhere where you can go for a moment of peace and to reset. That's helpful, isn't it, for resilience? And number 6, do you know what number 6 should be? If you are a teacher or skill support staff, join a community like Teacher Mindset Matters. Yeah, so we have a community designed. We're targeting teachers and school support staff because we think you do an amazing job, and we would like to help people to take ownership of their own mindset and their well-being with some simple things like what we've talked about today. It's simple, isn't it? Thinking about your small talk, thinking about who you spend time with the most, things like that we talk about. We haven't talked about very much today, but usually like meditation and journaling and all that kind of stuff, that it's a small change that makes a massive difference on a daily basis. So we've got lots of advice there that we want to help. So it's a free community, and if you're on a mindset journey, for sure we will be able to help you. Yes.